A third type of hard drive, and this is something that we used to see a lot more of, and you still see it, but you see it more in your high-end systems, is SCSI. Okay, SCSI. It's pronounced Scsi. Basically, this is also a daisy chain type solution where you'll have a controller, and then from there you'll have a ribbon cable, and you'll have multiple devices connected to it. And one of the things about when you're using SCSI is that you have to have terminators at the end of the daisy chain. Matter of fact, I should say at both ends of the daisy chain. So you'll notice in the illustration here that there's a SCSI terminator up at the top, and that's inside your box there, if you can kind of imagine my drawing here. And then you also have a terminator on the other end over on the left here, because you can also have an external device. Okay, you can have external devices as part of the SCSI chain as well. You also need to know that all SCSI devices must have something called a SCSI ID, and depending on the level of SCSI you're using, those IDs will be anywhere from 0 to 7 or 0 to 15. You should also keep in mind that the boot device, so if you have a hard drive that is meant to be the boot device, the one with the operating system on it that you're going to boot from, it should have a SCSI ID of 0, which means that it has the highest priority. And the controller itself will always have the lowest priority, which means it will have a SCSI ID setting of either 7 or 15, depending on the SCSI technology you're using. Now again, I'm not really going to go any deeper here into the SCSI technology and how it actually works, but what you do need to know is these SCSI ID settings, well, they can be done in a number of different ways. Okay, some devices will have an actual, kind of clicker on it, where you push a button to make the ID go up or down. You'll see the actual analog number in the window. And in some cases, you end up with dip switches, where you have a bank of 4 switches. And again, if you're using an older SCSI device with older technology where you could only have the 8 devices, then you would only have 3 dip switches. Okay, and the reason why is because, and this is just binary stuff, but if everything was to off, that would be 0. And if you had 3 on, that would be SCSI ID 7, as I've illustrated here. With a bank of 4, you actually, and I'll tell you what, I have it illustrated here with the jumpers. Okay, so that's the other option that you have. With 4, you can go all the way from 0 to 15. All right, so just keep in mind that this is how the SCSI IDs are set.